Welcome back to another Home Hint from Border Home Inspections. I'd like to change it up a little bit. I think the last one I did maybe was on the roof. Today I want to do the opposite. I want to look at the sewer line. And in particular I want to talk about backwater valves. A lot of people don't understand what a backwater valve is. And some people even have a backwater valve and they don't know anything about it. They don't realize you have to maintain it. You have to do some maintenance to it periodically. So I'm going to show it to you and show you how it works. And then hopefully you'll have a better understanding if you have one. And if you don't have one, maybe you want to put one in, maybe you don't. It depends on the city a lot of times, like the backwater valve is just that. It prevents water from coming back from the city. So, and the problem is though, they don't always work. And I've done videos about this before. So hopefully we'll be able to show you something here that you didn't know. Let's have a look. Okay, so I'm in a house. It's 9 years old. And I just run the camera down the sewer line. So what I did was I pulled this cover off. This is the backwater valve. And there's different ways to get in the sewer line, but I chose to do it this way today. So what we do is we pull this cap off here. And if you look inside, you can see that there is a little yellow flap inside this bucket. And it's designed so that when the water's coming back from the town, it grabs the leading edge of that flap and it flips it up and closes it. Let's see if I can get a video of that. So it gets to a certain point and it closes. So it stays in that closed position. And not sure if I can show it all the way here or not. I guess not. You can kind of see it there. So the next time you flush the toilet, of course, that flap will pop back down again. But the problem is a lot of times people flush grease and everything else down the line. And that flap, when it goes to lift up, there's too much grease buildup on it and it doesn't move. And it works best when the water's coming back from the town at a really rapid pace. So it's kind of like a wave and it hits that leading edge of that flapper and boom, closes it. And it prevents it from backing up into the house. Because if it gets beyond that flapper valve, it's going to push up through a floor drain or through a tub or a toilet or a shower or something like that. So it's really important that you reach down in there and you operate it a few times. And if it's not working well, then you take a garden hose or something and you wash it out. It's a crappy job, let's face it, but it has to be done. And if you don't do it, you might end up with a lot of crappy substance on your basement floor. So that's today's home hint. Hopefully it's been helpful to a few of you. And they refer to this as a mainline full check. And there's different types of check valves, but this is the one I want to talk about today. This is the one that's most common in a more modern home. So stay tuned for the next home hint from Border Home Inspections, and hopefully you learn something. By the way, I should mention that in this house, it's 9 years old, beautiful home, everything's in great shape. I always recommend a sewer scope because you never know what you're going to find in a sewer line. And I checked this sewer line, and between 55 and 60 feet, there's a sag in the line that's about 4 inches. So in other words, the line is running out like this, and then it drops down about 4 inches over a 5-foot period and comes back up. Now, what's the deal with that? What's the big deal? Well, if you flush grease down the line, the grease will stick in that spot and it'll literally plug that spot right off. In this case, the homeowners were very vigilant and there was no grease in that trap, in that low spot. But if you flush something down the toilet you shouldn't, and it's heavy, it'll get to that point and slows down and drops to the bottom of that pipe and stays there. And then you end up with a backup. So in this case, the homeowners probably will just be careful. It's been 9 years, there's been no issues whatsoever. But if they have issues, they'll know what the issues are, most likely. So that's the only spot I found in the whole line that was of any value, of any concern, I should say. So if you have the opportunity to get a sewer scope, even on a newer home, I recommend that you do it, because you never know what you're going to get into. I personally charge $100 extra to do it. Some people are more. Some people include it in their inspection, maybe. I don't know. A lot of home inspectors don't do it yet. I've been doing it for probably a dozen years, and my price is less than half of what it used to be because my equipment's paid for. But I just believe in it. I think it's important to do. So if you're getting a home inspection, your home inspector offers it to you, you should do it. It's worth it.